Hello everybody, it's the 28th of June today, and going to start another timey-wimey video on this root over rock willow, trying a more traditional approach of growing a single tree with its roots over a rock in place, as opposed to fusing several trees over a rock. So I'm obviously not going to touch the roots today, but I need to make a decision. Basically I have three apexes coming off here, and this being what I perceive as my most interesting front. I have several roots over the front of the rock here. So I need to make a decision as to which of these three apexes I'm going to keep. Before I do that though, let's have a quick look at the little bit of rock that is now exposed and the roots that are growing over it. As the years go by, over the next couple of years, I will reduce the height of this plastic collar, thus encouraging the roots to become more hardened off and trunk-like, and hopefully really grasping that rock. As I say, this is my front, and here is where my issue is with the three apexes, and I've actually decided to keep this one. This one I prefer in some ways because it's coming back towards the viewer, but this one obviously gives more interest and movement, whereas this is straight up. So before I change my mind, I'm going to remove this piece thusly, and then that piece. Thusly, that's left a fairly big scar, but I think I'll leave these two pieces in place, and they should, in theory, help to callus that over reasonably quickly. Okay, so obviously I could just leave that now to continue growing, and then maybe cut it back next spring, which is what I think I'm going to do. But I am going to shorten this in the hope that maybe it'll become a branch at a later point, and this piece also. And this piece I think will just be a sacrifice branch. In fact, all of these I think will be sacrifice branches, except for maybe that one. Of course I might change my mind when we get to next spring, depending on how they all develop. So there we go. I will pop that back on the bench, and we'll let it continue going on. Quick shot for scale with the ubiquitous drinks can. It's the 26th of July today. Can't hardly believe the year's flying by, but it is. And as you can see, this willow has continued to grow and grow and grow. And I've decided I'm going to chop it back, and I also want to look at the roots a little. Let's move you in a little closer. First thing I'm going to do, as I say, is to chop the top. I know some people might leave it to continue upwards for the rest of the year. But I don't want it to waste any more of its energy growing upwards, and I'm only going to chop it away anyway, so I'm going to cut back to this bud here, and well, say goodbye to that nice looking top, healthy, but that'll allow the rest of these shoots to keep growing, and I will let them carry on as they are. I think next year I might do some branch selection, but at the moment we've already got a nice bit of movement in this trunk, which has also got some reasonable taper as well, so that's quite good. I'm quite happy with that. So I brought in my potting tray because I might be about to make a little bit of mess. Looking at this tree, I need to decide on a front and a back, and well, I haven't made that decision as yet, and I have two choices really, looking at this movement, and either direction I have a branch sticking directly out of the front. And of course, if I remove them both, which I could, I might be removing a potential back branch, which is always handy for getting that depth of field that is sometimes missing in some of my trees, I fear to say. So anyway, I'm going to do something with these roots, and that's where a mess might be made. Watched the earlier video, you'll know there is a rock hiding in this plastic tube, which is just a drinks bottle. And what I want to try and do, if I can, is, without cutting my fingers off, and those scissors which I use for root pruning just aren't really going to cut it, and I don't really want to use my best pruning scissors, so I feel a raid to the kitchen coming on. Okay, so kitchen raided. That's better. What Mrs. P doesn't know about won't worry her. That's better. And now I can reduce some of this soil, allowing these roots that are buried in the soil to begin to grow the sort of thicker bark that you get from an exposed root. Okay, that's fine. Get rid of this bit of grafting tape that was holding it all together. At repotting time, and that video is available as part of the playlist, which will be linked in the end screen. Not end screen. I'm going to remove some of this root. Now, my question is, does that give me a better clue as to which is the front? Not really. I've got more root showing on this side, including some fine feeder root which can go I think this would probably be the front. Definitely have more root this side, and there will be eventually more rock showing. So yes, I think this will be my front. Yeah, definitely. So I am going to make a decision based on that to remove these pieces that are growing out of the very front of the trunk. And this, for example, which would be on the inside of a curve. Here I've got two pieces together. And I'll leave these to help fatten up the base of the trunk some more. So there we have it. I think that is as much as I'm going to do to this tree this year. I'll put it back on the bench on the basis that this is now my front, and we'll end the video here and perhaps revisit it in the autumn. So a final 360 now. The potting tray is no longer in the way. Canvas scale. Nothing left to say except thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do the usual YouTube things, the liking, the commenting, the subscribing, and most of all though, please take care of yourselves. Stay safe everybody.